It was a quiet Thursday evening when Alex settled into the couch with a steaming mug of tea and his phone. The kind of night where nothing ever seemed to happen. Outside, the street was empty. The only light coming from the soft glow of the street lamp across the road. He was just starting to drift into that mindless scroll through social media when his doorbell chimed. At first, Alex didn't think much of it. Maybe a package delivery, maybe a neighbor. But something in his gut told him to check the doorbell camera before opening the door. When the feed appeared on his screen, his heart stuttered. Standing on his porch was someone who looked exactly like him. Not just similar, identical. The same hoodie he had on now, the same messy hair, the same faint scar across his left eyebrow from when he fell as a kid. The man on the porch tapped his fingers nervously against his thigh, a habit Alex had never noticed until that moment. He sat frozen, unable to comprehend what he was seeing. It couldn't be real. Then the figure outside tilted its head as if listening. Slowly, deliberately, it turned its eyes toward the camera lens. For a second, Alex thought it was just a recording glitch. But then, the figure raised its hand and knocked on the door. The sound reverberated through the house, in perfect sync with the movement on the screen. Alex's chest tightened. His first thought was to call the police, but how could he explain this? He decided to peek out the window instead. Creeping carefully to the side of the living room, he pulled the curtain back just an inch. The figure was still there, standing on the porch, completely motionless now, staring at the front door. And then Alex made a mistake. The floor beneath his feet creaked as he shifted his weight. Instantly, the figure's head snapped toward the window. Their eyes locked. Alex gasped, stumbling backward, letting the curtain fall closed. He pressed himself against the wall, heart hammering in his chest. When he finally gathered the courage to look again, the porch was empty. The man, the copy, was gone. Sleep was impossible that night. Alex left the lights on and sat at the kitchen table, listening for any sound outside. The house felt too quiet, like it was holding its breath. Around 3 a.m., just as his eyelids began to droop, his phone buzzed with another doorbell notification. Motion detected at front door. His stomach twisted as he opened the app. The feed was dark, only the grainy glow of the porch light visible. Then, slowly, a face filled the screen. His face. Alex's own reflection stared back at him from the camera, whispering something he couldn't hear. He turned up the volume, straining to make out the words, but all he got was static. The figure leaned closer, mouth opening wider, whisper turning into a rasp. And then suddenly, clear and loud, it screamed in Alex's exact voice, "Let me in!" Alex dropped the phone, his hands shaking violently. The sound still rang in his ears. He scrambled to grab the phone again, but when he reopened the app, the porch was empty. There was no sign anyone had ever been there. The rest of the night crawled by. Every time Alex closed his eyes, he imagined footsteps on the porch, imagined the door slowly creaking open. By sunrise, he was exhausted, but relief washed over him as the daylight returned. Maybe it had been a dream, a hallucination brought on by stress. That's what he told himself. But then, that afternoon, as he absent-mindedly scrolled through his phone, a new notification popped up. Saved video. Doorbell camera, 2:57 a.m. His blood ran cold. He hadn't saved anything. Hands trembling, Alex tapped on the video. It began the same as before. The figure, his double, standing silently on the porch. But after a moment, the perspective shifted. The camera jolted as if the figure had leaned closer, tampering with it somehow. The feed glitched, flickered, and then changed. The camera was no longer showing the porch. It was showing Alex's bedroom, his bed, his sleeping body. Alex slammed the phone down, his chest heaving, his breath shallow and ragged. He hadn't left his bed last night. He hadn't moved. So how could the doorbell camera have captured that? He tried to convince himself it was some sort of hack, some sick prank. But deep down, he knew that wasn't true. Since that night, Alex has refused to check the doorbell feed again. He's even thought about taking it down completely, but something stops him every time. A part of him feels that if he removes it, he'll lose his only defense, his only evidence that what he saw was real. But the strangest part is what happens at night. Sometimes, just as Alex is about to fall asleep, he hears faint knocking echoing through the halls of his home. It always comes in threes. Sometimes it's at the door, sometimes it's at the window, and sometimes it sounds like it's coming from the inside of the house. And in his dreams, Alex finds himself standing on his own porch. He looks through the doorbell camera into the house. He sees himself sitting inside, scrolling on his phone, unaware. He bangs on the door. He screams, "Let me in!" But the other Alex never opens the door. Now, Alex can't tell anymore whether he's the man inside the house or the one outside, waiting to be let in. If this story gave you chills, don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment sharing your thoughts, and subscribe for more terrifying true horror stories.